And good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Morning Steam with Mindy Hahn. I'm Ramon Scott. Mindy, happy football Saturday. Excitement, excitement. We're here for your first look at picks, lines, games, moves for Saturday, September 10th. Uh, what can you say? Just a huge day of action. Don't know where to start, don't know where to end.
Right? It's going to be fun getting through all of these games. Going to be lots of action. Some, big games here today on the slate. I think we covered, a lot of them on the early slate. So now we're starting with those 2:30 Central games, 2:30 Central my time. So yeah, any of those plays that you missed before that, please go back and check out our videos. I think Tony has sliced them up into where you're just getting our football picks for the early slate of games. So we're starting at mid-afternoon, ready to kick this thing off today.
Yeah, so if you want to catch those picks, of course, Mindy and I did the first, I don't know what, call it 2.5 hours of the card. You can go back and watch one of the other shows if you want to get some picks before. Or, yeah, I think Tony chopped them up and says, 13 picks. There's a video on there for that. Of course, Tony's got several college football videos out there as well with picks galore from Tony's Picks. But if you want our absolutely best selections for this Saturday and this weekend, head on over to Tony'sPicks.com. There you'll find our premium picks, a dozen handicappers each day with their best picks. Daniel was 3-0 last night, and we got more action today, including best bets for the Saturday card. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off all premium pick packages. And big day. Well, we have picks. There's Mindy's got her college football best bet ready to go, and everyone's got picks. And there you can see the pick ticker too. All the games coming up. If you're running out of time, you don't know what you want, go right to the pick ticker. You can just get a play right there, standard 25%, $25. You can use the promo code on anything. Use it as often as you'd like over at Tony's Picks. So want to promote our website and everything that we have to offer there, but we're here to bring you free picks on the morning steam. We got, I don't know, it seems like 32, 35 games or so we're going to go through. We'll touch on the other sports, but everyone wants to get involved with the college football card today. Good games. We got some lopsided games. We're not exactly in a full conference mode yet. So, there are going to be some big spreads. And look, Mindy and I are going to do the best we can. I spent several minutes on each game anyway. If you handicap a game for about 10 minutes, go with your pick. If not, maybe Mindy and I are the ones to go with. I spent several minutes on every game. Even looked at some FCS, but I don't know how many we'll get through there. Or maybe we'll just throw out a few picks that I've marked down. Talk about the other sports as well. Big day of action, but it all starts with college football. And we'll get to the rapid picks rundown after we hear from some of our crew. And there's Latifah joining us. Good morning to her. Good morning to all the viewers. Put your picks on the into the chat, and we'll flash them on the screen. And if you win, you could show your friends that your pick was on YouTube. Hey, look at this! You can show them your phone when the team is up by 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and you had your pick on screen. I think that's a fun feature of something we can kind of offer here. And maybe you'll be the host of the morning steam.
Right.
Mindy and I can't bring several winners. So we're Mindy and I joining you each and every Saturday through Thursday here on the morning steam, giving you rapid fire picks with a little bit of analysis today, maybe even less analysis than usual, just because of so many games. So we're going to get started, and always happy to see everyone here. So please comment, send your picks in, and we'll put them on screen. Maybe as we go along, I think is kind of the best, but whatever you want. You want to put a 4-teamer up there? We're okay with that. Let's get to our rapid fire rundown. Mindy, you said we're going to start at those games that are 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, and 2:30 Mindy time.
That's right, 2:30 Mindy time. I mean, that's why it matters, right? 2:30 Mindy time.
The Maryland Terrapins are going to take on Charlotte, Maryland in this one, Mindy. 26.5-point favorite, total 65.5. This one opened maybe as low as 25.5 and creeped up to 27.5. We've seen quite a bit of movement on the total, as high as 70.5 to open, all the way down here to 65.5.
Yeah, so Maryland beat Buffalo 31-10 last time. Maybe didn't play like their best ball, but did average 290 yards in one interception. Their running back averaged 16 yards per carry, which is kind of unheard of. But yeah, I mean, it just meant there was huge holes for the running back there to get through. Charlotte, on the other hand, they lost to William and Mary. Gave up 41 and 43 points here in their first two games. They also lost their running back Reynolds, or quarterback Reynolds, there too. So they're actually down to their third string quarterback in this one. So I think this is going to be a one-sided Maryland game. So I'm going to take the under 65.5 here in this one.
Okay, yeah, and I certainly agree with that on the under, but I want to bring everyone as many picks as possible. I don't know if that counts as like a double endorsement, but I'll give out Maryland. How about it, Mindy, at 26.5? I think Maryland will rout them, especially given the factors that you mentioned, down to the third string quarterback, and the fact that Charlotte lost to a team with just two players last week, William and Mary. So if they can't beat a team of okay, enough of the cliches.
I like the joke. I thought it was good. I mean, it really got to me in the early morning.
Yeah, I caught you on that one. So I will take Maryland. I like that under as well. I wanted to give it out as a premium, but it just went down too far for me. I did get some 68.5 earlier this week. So
lost a little bit of value there. Yeah,
nothing on the premium side. However, Latifa's bringing the heat. Try to keep up with her. But so there's our first two picks. Mindy gives us the under, and I'm going to give us Maryland. I'm going to do a better job of marking down your picks, Mindy.
Okay. All right.
I want to keep track of that so that maybe when I'm at the window at the last minute, I need a pick. I should go with Mindy. All right. The Tennessee Volunteers are going to travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Panthers. Tennessee, a 6-point favorite, total 64.5. This one was as high as 68, and Tennessee was as low as a 4-point favorite. Mindy, I've got a premium in this game on the total, but what do you got?
Well, I can probably also give you maybe my side here on the total, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Last season, when Tennessee-Pittsburgh played, they were 41, and the score was 41-34. Tennessee, they have a ton of talent here. They have a really exciting quarterback with Hooker. They're giving up a lot of yards here. Tennessee is too, 269 yards versus Ball State. Then you have this. Is he from California? The cool kid from Pittsburgh, Slovid, right? 380 yards.
He played for USC.
Okay.
Keaton Slovis, yeah.
Yeah. And so he, but I think Pittsburgh just didn't look so good here on defense. So I'm actually going to take the over here in this game between Tennessee and Pittsburgh.
Well, I think if anything, there, like I said, there might be some value to that. I mean, I did see this one go all the way up to 68. Now you're back down to 64. So I think there's some good value there. But I'll try Pittsburgh. I mean, look, Tennessee's going to have probably an advantage in the trenches and everything. But maybe Pittsburgh on the back end can get home with this back door, especially the fact that you're looking at 5.5. It went up as high as 6.5. It's back down to 5.5. Certainly would like to make sure you're getting at least 6, but I can only give out what I see here on the screen, and I will take Pittsburgh. Plus, I'll say 5.5 because that's what I'm seeing right now. Most books have moved off that 6. I think most people can get a 6 out there, but I'll give it out at 5.5 just to challenge myself. Let me give out a parlay here. I don't want to say parlay. Sanford might have some plays for us. Thank you, Sanford. Let's leave those on screen. Everybody can jot them down, see how Sanford does. Maybe get some regulars in our chat, Mindy. Have them bring along the picks and help us out a little bit because it's Saturday and we got a gazillion games. So, all right.
We talked about we love that Miami game. We already gave that one out there on the early slate there. So we're rooting for some Canes here today.
Memphis is going to take on Navy. Memphis, a 4.5-point favorite. It was as high as 6.5. Kind of the move coming in on Navy. We did see some widely reported steam come in on Navy in this one, and the total is down to 49 from as high as 52.5. So this one has dropped 3.5 points on the total.
Yeah, so last year, this one, Memphis won it 35-17. Navy fell to Delaware 14-7, kind of in a kind of an ugly match there. But yet, Ole Miss, they lost to. Memphis lost to Ole Miss, but averaged, who usually averages about 30 points per game. But I don't know. It's one of these things. Like I think. Secondary will kind of be an issue here in this game. I just see a lot of action. I'm going to go ahead and lean to the over here in this one.
Okay, we're going to get our first disagreement after 3 games. That worries me a little bit. But again, I'm giving it out as an under, as a free play because I've missed some points here on this one down from. So you're getting the best of the number, Mindy. There's no doubt about it. So advantage Mindy there. I'll take the under, and we'll go heads up there and see how we do against one another. Look, Navy. This isn't the same Navy. This isn't. I want to say it's not your typical Navy. They're going to look like Navy out there. They're going to
run the action,
the Navy style. So, but consider how good they were, and now. Right now, they're just not doing, not having the good fortune that they've had in the past. They've won just 7 of the last 23 games overall. So, need a little bit on Navy to step it up a little bit. I'm giving out the over, the under, and you're giving out the over. Let me just
we're going to arm wrestle on this one.
Make that clear here. My brain might not be clear at this hour.
I know. I feel like I'm having a hard time reading my own notes. Isn't that bad?
Colorado Buffaloes are going to take on Air Force. We got a battle of Colorado teams here. Air Force, a 17.5-point favorite, opened as low as 14.5. Some widely reported steam coming in on Air Force here, and this total also has moved up from a low as 45, and now we're dealing with 50, Mindy.
Yeah, so Colorado, they lost to TCU 38-13. It was kind of a weird defensive game here initially, 7-6 at halftime. It's a game where I think the defense played better than the offense. There was 384 yards of offense, but they gave up 413 yards to TCU. Air Force, on the other hand, played Northern Iowa, won 48-17. They actually rallied here for 582 yards, had 5 rushing TDs, but still allowed 405 yards of offense. So to me, this is a whole bunch of defenses giving up a whole bunch of yards. I know I lost a few points here, but I'm still going to take the over here in this one.
No, I can't. I can't disagree. As our guy, as our main guy would say there, I definitely like that. I got a better number than this privately. No premium on that. But look, Tony gives Carl Durrell a hard time. I told you he was a classmate of mine. I'm cheering for the guy. I understand this is his 3rd year. If you can't cover 17.5 points in your 3rd year against Air Force, I get it, Tony. I mean, Carl Durrell, it is a struggle right now. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm also going to take the extra 3 points or so with 17.5 from an opener. Look, Air Force has gotten steamed in this game. There's some issues here with Colorado, but I'm going to take those 17.5 points, and I'm not even going to talk trash if they cover. I'll be happy because hey, I want Durrell to do well. I know he was, he flopped at UCLA, whatnot, but again, year 3, you got to cover points. You got to cover these points. I'll take Colorado, and Mindy's got the over. All right, let's keep it moving here. Appalachian State is going to visit Texas A&M in this one, and Texas A&M an 18-point favorite, up from a low of 15 here. The total is 54. Early on, it was 50 and a half, so we've seen this one kind of go up, Mindy, as far as the total's concerned.
Make sure you get Steph on the board today, because we talked about that we had missed the comment there at the end of our show there the other day. So on Monday. So make sure you get that in, Ramon.
Yeah, was it Steph that had?
I think it was Steph.
Yeah, Steph had that great comment, and I
Yeah.
want to. I'll definitely point that out to our viewer, Steph, that she had that great. It was a pick, I think. I don't know if she.
I think it was a prop bet, I want to say, and it was
Okay.
when we were having just the one guy just give out, like, I don't know, like he was talking one-on-one with Ramon almost.
Yeah, and I missed it. So Steph, put some more picks in the chat. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your best bets today. Flash them up there as well. So, Mindy, Texas A&M, pretty huge favorite here, but the spread looks like it's going up.
Yeah, so we got App State here. They put out 61 points versus North Carolina, but still they're only 1-6 versus those AP top 10 teams. Another team that really just can't stop the pass. Texas A&M, otherwise with King, he put up 364 yards of offense. Aggies also have a really nice defense. Don't love it, but I'm going to take the over here in this one.
All right. Well, I'm going to go under. I'm going to go under and disagree with Mindy in this one. Look, I know we had Appy had the crazy game. They scored 75 points in one quarter or something like that last week. Emotional game that they had. But I don't know. I think for me, I think there's some value to be had in the total to go under. I think A&M can get this big number at 18. I certainly would have liked to have laid less points because it was lower, so you're not getting the best of the number with Texas A&M if you are taking them. I do kind of favor Texas A&M, but my pick, Mindy, we've got 5 games. We got 2 disagreements. This is going to be great for me because I think you've been getting the best of that. All right, we'll keep it rolling. With Washington State going to be traveling to Madison to take on the Wisconsin Badgers. Way back when Wisconsin opened as low as 11.5, that number wasn't out for very long. I think the general opener was 16, but this one went as high as 18.5 before we saw some buyback on Washington. The total is up to 49, open 46. So I'd say there's a move here to the total over for sure.
Yeah, so Washington State here, they took on Idaho last time, 24-17.
Yeah, that's not good.
Right. I think Washington State here will decide to show up. I think Nate Watson, the running back, he really needs a good game. It's one of those things they were able to go ahead and stop, some of the run there in that game with Idaho. They only gave up the 62 yards of rushing. But yet then you have this Wisconsin team here that, they put up like 221 yards on the ground normally. I mean, they got some great running backs. I mean, they always play their best ball versus Nebraska as well. So, pretty familiar with this team. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lean the over. I'm going to take the over here in this one.
Well, now we're back on track because I'm going to agree. That's going to be our first play, our first Ramon and Mindy play right there. I'll try to mark all these down today. I don't know how far we'll get, but I got the over as well. I think Wisconsin can have a typical Wisconsin rushing day. I don't know. That's a pretty big number to ask now at 17, but I think it could come very, very close to that number. But you mentioned Wisconsin's running. Allen looks like, the typical Wisconsin back. So again, they should be able to take care of this in the trenches and get it done. And at a reasonable number of 49, I'll give it out as a free play because we have missed a little bit of value there because it opened as low as 46. So that's fine. We'll take over. We got an agreement.
All right.
An agreement with
Can we write that one down? Should we write it down? Our agreement? What do we got?
Yeah, I have it marked. So I have a no.
You're gonna recap it?
A nice box and a star, but I got so many. My sheet, I don't know how you guys do it at home, but I've got a big long sheet of information in front of me with a gazillion games on it that has about a week's worth of data in shorthand, I think.
That's what I said. I can't even hardly read my shorthand.
Middle Tennessee is going to come take on Colorado State, and Colorado State has definitely been the team that's seen some betting action here. They opened as low as 7.5. They're now up to 11. The total 58.5. Open 57. Not too much movement there, and I've got myself a little premium on this one. If you want to head on over to our website, Tony'sPicks.com, I've got a paid pick. The tout in me comes out, but I'm going to give out the total in this one. Mindy, go ahead.
Oh, well, if you're going to give out the total, then I'll give out, the total as well.
All right.
I got a premium on the side.
Oh, gosh.
But both teams here, they only scored 7 points in each of their first games. Colorado State had 219 yards of offense, while Middle Tennessee had only 119 yards of offense as well. I'm just going to go ahead and take the under here in this one and call it a day.
Okay. I think that the defense, I respect what you're saying about that, but I think I've got a little bit of value here at 58.5. That seems like a reasonable number to get to. I thought that these teams will be able to exploit one another a little bit, especially Colorado State and Middle Tennessee's offenses here. But look, that side has gone up. Wow. I mean, open 7.5, now up to 11. We got another disagreement. 3 disagreements and 1 agreement, but I'll go over in this one, 58.5. So somebody going to be owing something to someone.
Yeah. I know we usually have a Colorado State, I think, alum, our favorite team in here in the chat room normally. So you can let us know what you think. If you're here.
Akron is going to come into East Lansing and take on the Michigan State Spartans, and Michigan State is a 34.5 point favorite in the total 56, what should be a lopsided game in this one, Mindy.
Well, I don't really want to tip my hand here in this one, but I'm going to play both sides of this one as premiums. So I will let you have the honor of taking this one full bore.
Well, I think, the teams weren't that impressive last week in their matchups. I thought that Akron, they were kind of, they played St. Francis. So, I think for them, easy kind of game for them. Now you got to go play a Michigan State team. The pressure. I feel like the pressure's on because you got premiums in this one. I mean, I could give out a side or a total here because I kind of like them both, but I'll go ahead and take the over in this one, Mindy. I think it could sneak over the total of 56. I mean, Michigan State alone, if you're going to cover 34, they've got to at least get 5 touchdowns. And you'd think that they would get more than that, especially with a total of 56. I mean, that sounds like Akron will get some too. So I'll go over as my free pick in the game between Akron and Michigan State. And again, Mindy has a premium on both. So if you want to get totally involved in this one between Akron and Michigan State, head over to Tony'sPicks.com. Mindy got a premium side and total in the game between Akron and Michigan State. All right. The Virginia Cavaliers are going to go to Champaign and take on the Illinois Fighting Illini. And the Illini are minus 3.5 point favorite. I'll just kind of correct that there. I think everyone understands the line there. The total 57.5, Mindy. If anything, this one's gone down just a little bit. Illinois was as high as 4.5, and this total was as low as 54.5. So we're seeing movement to Virginia and movement to the over, in my opinion.
Yeah, so Virginia here, last time out had 505 yards of offense. They're 2-1 advantage to Illinois in this series, but they lost to Indiana in a close one, 23-20. Illinois is a team I think that can methodically go up and down the field here with Brett Bielema as coach. I kind of see them to go ahead and cover here at home. I'm not sure Virginia is quite ready for this Big Ten, ground and pound here in this one. That's how I'm going to see this. I'll take Illinois to cover. I had it -4. I'll take that -3.5 there.
Sure. I think I've missed out a little bit on this total. I think it will go over. I do think Illinois can have a big day here against Virginia as well. For me, I do think that Illinois' offense will have more success right now. Virginia, they've last year, look, 42-14 last season as double-digit favorites. So Virginia, they're still, maybe working on things a little bit with their new regime. I'm going to take Illinois and Virginia to go over the 57.5. So Mindy gives you Illinois. I give you the over. 2 picks there. We're rolling along. And maybe we'll get to some baseball later. Barrere, he asked for Rangers and Blue Jays, so we got to keep up on some of those baseball cards. We're covering mostly football today, but Tony does have his videos out as well with all of his free picks on the baseball slate today. But with all these games, just have to keep on rolling with this. All right, Mindy, we're going to go next to the UNLV Running Rebels are going to take on the California Golden Bears. In California, they're kind of a runaway favorite here. They opened 10.5. They're up to 13. Total has gone down here, Mindy, to 48.5 from as high as 51. So I think the move has been on the favorite Cal, and the move has been to the total under.
So I don't know if I read this right, but this is their first time meeting UNLV in California. UNLV, they put up, a score of 52-21 versus Idaho State, had 554 yards of offense. California, on the other hand, played UC Davis 34-13 back in the 90s. We played them at the national championship tournament. We beat them 3-1, just so you know. Go UNO. Where California had 415 total yards of offense versus UC Davis last time. They were pretty effective, I think, on the ground. I'm going to take the over here in this game. Just see a little bit more offense than what they put up in the last couple here. I think it's one of those things that they're just going to take advantage of these secondaries here in this one.
All right, mark it down for Mindy and I. We're going to have another double agreement double agreement in this game. I think it will go over as well. I think we're getting a very good line at 48.5. I think that's a factor for me as well. So that'll be our second agreement in this game. UNLV and Cal to go over. So we got a little parlay working now, finally. Houston,
right.
Houston's going to take on Texas Tech. Texas Tech, man, this one's up to 4 now. Texas Tech opened 1.5. They're now up to 4 in this game. That looks pretty strong. The total is down to 62.5 off an opener of 65.5.
Yeah, I don't even know what to think about that. Where it was, was it either like a 52.5 it went to from 63? Like, it was crazy, the kind of line movement, that big here on this game. It's kind of some line movement that you don't normally see, 52.5 to like 63.5. You know what I mean? So to me, this kind of looks like, it was definitely, a lean over here, but I kind of feel like I just kind of missed the boat here on this one, that I'm not so sure that I can really, make that play anymore. So, I mean, this is one to me, Houston, they definitely still look tough. He looks awesome. He had a 68% completion ratio. Texas Tech, on the other hand, had Murray State put up a lot of points there, 63-10. So I see all of these points coming in, these late points, probably because of Houston. But you also have Texas Tech out there with a new head coach. Tyler Shug, he's also injured. So they're starting their backup, Donovan Smith.
Not a downgrade. Not a downgrade.
You think it's a downgrade, you said?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you said no downgrade. Okay, gotcha. So I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of leaning probably more towards a Houston play in this just to cover. But it's really not my favorite play. That's just kind of a lean for me based off of that opening that we had there with Texas Tech.
Okay, that's fair enough. You can give a lean out to Houston. So that's the better value, if you will, with that line increasing. I will go over in the game. I'm not worried too much about like I said, as high as 65.5. So I'm not worried about what you said about the line in this game. I mean, we saw last week. I mean, look, I know it was a crazy game, right? So I don't know if there's any fatigue factor or extra wear and tear when you go 3 overtimes like Houston did last week. But Texas Tech will still bring it. So I'll go over 62.5, and that'll be, at least we'll have that play. We have Mindy's lean on Houston, but I'll give out an official free play of over with Houston and Texas Tech. All right, this one should be less exciting, Mindy, but it's right up your alley. So I think you're well-versed to give us expertise. You're coming to us from Iowa, right there near Omaha, right at the border of Nebraska and Iowa. But these are two of your teams, certainly in your favorite conference, probably. So Iowa State at Iowa. Iowa's a 3.5-point favorite, and the total currently sits at 40. Oh my gosh!
I know. So I am from Nebraska, but
the lowest total on the board. Go ahead.
It is, but I live in Iowa, so I have to deal with this rivalry between Iowa and Nebraska, where Iowa has beat Nebraska for quite some time now. And then you have, an Iowa State team that's, 0-5 to Iowa. And then you have this Iowa team that put up a baseball score, 7-5 last game.
Everybody's making fun of them.
Oh, I know. They only had, 109 yards passing. They have not really been strong offensively for the last couple of years, but their defense, I mean, they just, their linebackers catch take 9 interceptions a year, stuff like that. I don't know. It's like I want to lean to, a road cover in this one. I mean, I'm honestly not playing this game. I'm totally staying away from it. But I did hear at the local casino here that you could get like 6,000 to 1 odds if you had a score of 10-10 that came in, under 10-10. So if this one here still is single digits, you could win 6,000 to 1 odds. So I mean, lots of people are out there putting their bets in on this one. But yeah, I'm going to take that.
9-7, 7-6,
yeah, something like that.
9-6.
And then if you watched I think it was ESPN last night before the Louisville Central Florida game, they were giving out the lock of the day would be the under in this one. I mean, so it's just going to be wild and crazy. But I'm going to take the Iowa State. I'm going to do a road cover here on this one. I'm going to take the 3.5 and go against that 0-5 streak of those Iowa State Cyclones.
And you'll go against me. We'll go heads up in this one. I'll lay the 3.5 points with Iowa, but I think I'd rather take that bet that you mentioned. I mean,
right.
Look, the number's only 40, right? We only need it to be 7-5 or something like it was last week.
Yeah, 9-9, 3 field goals.
Two safeties in the
7.
In the game. We should get prop bet for safeties in there too. And these two teams have played some goofy games in the past. Certainly we know that. So all right, we got another disagreement there, but we still got our 2-teamer working. All right. Old Dominion is going to take on East Carolina. East Carolina, a 12.5-point favorite. That opened 10.5, now up to 12.5. It was 13.5 before buyback came in on Old Dominion, and also the total at 50.5. And this one opened as high as 53.5. So the total is dropping, Mindy.
Right. So yeah, Old Dominion, they were ranked pretty low last season against the pass. East Carolina, they were, 1 point short of beating North Carolina State, I think twice in that game. I think this one's just going to lead to a whole bunch of offense here. I'm going to take that over 50.5 in this one. Old Dominion kind of surprised me from the get-go, so I'm kind of excited to see where they're going to go here in this one.
Yeah, but to me, it had to be, emotional that game, right? I mean, to beat Virginia Tech, to me, I'm going to go with the typical handicapping angle here, and I don't want to necessarily, I'm laying extra points here, extra 2 points with East Carolina, but I think the emotion of Old Dominion coming off that win, maybe the biggest win ever for them last week as far as the program is concerned. So I'll lay the points with East Carolina on the emotional factor, if you will. East Carolina still, they had a goof. You mentioned that goofy game with the block punt and all that. So looks like ECU for me. I wish I could lay less points, so I'll just make it a free play, but I'll take East Carolina. All right, the Kansas Jayhawks are going to take on the West Virginia Mountaineers. Sounds like a good basketball game, but it might not be a good football game. West Virginia, 2-touchdown favorite here, and the total 60. That is up from 57.5. This side, the number itself, right in the middle. I mean, it's been between 13 and 14. Obviously, it's right off of a kind of a key number of 14, but hasn't really moved one way or the other.
Yeah. So then because I'm from the Midwest, I have lots of family that live in Missouri. And so we also grew up, disliking all of the Kansas schools. So that's another little tidbit for you. All of my cousins graduated from all Missouri schools. Go Tigers. Yeah. So West Virginia, they only allowed 76 yards on the ground, last week. Kansas is like another team that kind of relies on their rushing game also. So I mean, I don't know if this means that the passing game may be enhanced, or they're each going to go ahead and try to rely here on this ground game. I'm going to go with the under lean here in this one between Kansas and West Virginia under that 59.5.
I think it's a slow and steady improvement for Kansas. Look, it looks kind of daunting to try to go into Morgantown and get this number, but I think Kansas is improved. I mean, it's hard to, talk about Kansas and the football program, and they actually had a couple, in the past they've had some teams that have been okay. But it's been a long drought of good seasons. But for here, I'm going to take 2 touchdowns, close to 2 touchdowns, 13.5. So I'm going to give the official free play here. I'll take Kansas plus 13.5. UAB is going to take on the Liberty Flames. UAB is 6.5-point favorite on the road. That opened 3.5. So lots of action coming in on UAB, and this total is down to 50 off an opener of 54. So total is moving down in this one. So UAB getting the money and the under getting the money, Mindy.
Yeah, that's quite, the spread increase there from the -3 to -6.5. Liberty's not really healthy at quarterback. Brewer's out. And the backup didn't really, show too much. UAB with McBride at running back, he averages 6.7 yards a carry. I kind of think UAB here is going to cover on the road. I kind of like where that line movement is headed here in this one.
Okay, Mindy giving out that. I when I say 3.5, I mean I think it's pretty much been this higher number for the most part the whole time for the general market. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. I just want to give a reference point too that where the line did start. There are people out there holding 3.5s and
Almost 3.5,
4s and
yeah.
whatnot. If you're up at, uh, you know, 5 in the morning on a Monday or something, making bets. Uh,
Right.
we're doing a show, so I'll give out the total. And I like the total to go under. I mean, I know I'm missing out on all the value here in this one. With I could have had 54. Now I'm going under 50. Maybe that's why it's a free play here. But you mentioned it, Mindy. I mean, a big difference between Brewer and the two guys that were in there last week. Also, UAB, they debuted kind of a new stadium last year, and who came in there but none other than the Liberty Flames that ruined their home opener, their new stadium. But they're on the road here. But I'll go under 50 in UAB and Liberty. All right, let's get into some conference action here with Kentucky and Florida. Florida is the 6-point favorite. This one's kind of been all over the map. Florida's been as low as 4.5, as high as 7, but now it's settled at about 6. Same thing for the total. It's been as low as 49 up to 52.5, but now we're looking at a 51. So, what do you think?
Well, I think that Florida's quarterback, Anthony Richardson, he's maybe being touted here, for the Heisman. He's a really talented guy, but he's only had 2 college starts. I kind of expect Kentucky to, keep this one close. Florida's rush defense, they allowed 230 yards on the ground there versus Utah. I kind of think there just is going to be plenty of offense, in this one as well. I'm going to take the road cover here in this one. I'm going to take Kentucky +6.
Let's put this as our third team of our round robin parlay, and I'll agree with Mindy here with the UK in this one. Yeah, I think look, they kind of had a goofy game last week with Miami of Ohio, but again, now we're in a conference game. There could be some scoring in this one. Might get over 51. I almost want to give that out, but I want to agree with Mindy because I like that. I'm much more solid on the side here as far as our free play is concerned. So let's do it. Let's put that in our round robin. Take Kentucky +6 points. All right. Well, this game doesn't sound as fun. Massachusetts going to take on Toledo. Toledo's a 4-touchdown favorite. Was as high as 31. So maybe if you like Toledo, you're getting some value there. Total at 49 was as high as 53, and it's now down to 49. So if anything, the money's coming in on UMass and the under.
Yeah, other than UMass, you just totally struggles to score. They allowed nearly 400 yards of offense last week, while, Toledo had a pretty lopsided victory, 37-0 in their first game. Maybe some of that money there's coming in on Massachusetts, but I'm going to take Toledo in this one. Toledo at -28.
Who bets UMass? I mean, right? I mean,
maybe in basketball, right? I don't know.
The way things are going. So, but I'll leave that to you to lay those points. And like I said, if anything, Mindy, I mean, laying 4 touchdowns, I mean, better than laying 31 points. I think that's bodes well. I think you're saving some money there. So I will go over. I think I'm getting a little bit of bonus there with over at 49 because it was as high as 53. I think Toledo's going to do some damage here to UMass. Toledo, look, they look good in the trenches. They look big. They look strong. I think they've got a very, very good offensive line. I think they'll really do a nice job here against UMass and probably get the number as well. Maybe the move worries me a little bit, but Mindy's on Toledo here with the free pick. I'll give out the over. All right. Syracuse is a pretty big favorite going in. There's another basketball game, right? Syracuse laying 23.5 now. Wow, this one was as low as 19.5, and the total is currently at 49.5. It was as high as 56.5. So big move on the under.
Yeah, so Syracuse had an impressive victory over Louisville. It might have been for me kind of the surprise of the week, 31-7. I don't know if Syracuse was the surprise or Louisville, I guess, in this one. But they had 449 yards of total offense. UConn lost to Utah State. And that I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Oh goodness! Oh, I got rid of it. All right. These early morning shows, I feel like, my allergies are still, in flux from the overnight. All right. So anyway, we're just going to take Syracuse over UConn. I'm going to lay the minus 23.5 here in this one.
Yeah, I mean, you're being taxed there, no doubt about it. But I mean, come on, they really should put a number on them. Really, I think it's going to be hard for Connecticut to do very much here. I can't see them getting more than a couple of touchdowns. Look, I'll give out the under. I mean, I'm not proud because I'm missing a whole touchdown here, but I just don't know if Connecticut can score. And I don't know if Syracuse is necessarily going to get 5 or 6 touchdowns. Maybe they will, but they're on the road. I'll go under 49.5. So Mindy lays the 23.5. I go under. So hopefully we get something maybe right in the I don't know, 38-10 range, 38-7, something like that. Syracuse in a blowout. Kent State's gonna. Let's get our comments in here. Nice to have you, Ayana. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to everyone in the chat. We're up to good job, Mindy. I saw it crack 20 live viewers. So again, we got our free picks here on our rapid fire free pick show. We get a little more in depth on the weekdays when we're talking baseball and other sports. But look, we got a lot of games to cover. We're only about we're more than halfway through.
Right.
So let's keep it rolling. Let's go to this is going to be Kent at Oklahoma. Kent State is a 33-point underdog, and the total is 73. So this is one of the high totals of the day. Certainly in Oklahoma, a massive favorite.
Yeah, so Kent State, lost to Washington by 25. They really struggled even just to, do anything really. And that's even with Washington putting out 3 different quarterbacks in this one. Just really, really struggled. And we know that Oklahoma is the much better team here in this one. They only allowed, 23 yards of, rushing offense on 31 carries. It's just one of those things. Like, I agree with, so we had E. Sanford this morning, right? That he liked our Miami University pick. I think I like his Oklahoma at minus 33 or minus 33.5 here in this one for sure.
Oh yeah, I hope so. I mean, I want to lay it, but I want to give 2 plays out. I want us, if we have a separate play, Mindy, I want us to, I'll agree with you, and we'll support Oklahoma. I think the moves there, it opened 32. It's now up to 33. Kent State was embarrassed, really, I think, in that one. And the total's just gone up. And what is Kent State really going to score? Look, 73, and they're only a 33-point favorite. That doesn't make much sense to me, really. That's giving Kent too much credit. I think this is going to go under 73, and Oklahoma's going to, maybe pitch a shutout on these guys. I would. They
Right.
should. I mean, I don't know. Russell and me were on the same page. I mean, we agree.
Right.
He's laughing, he's crying. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. It seems like it should be like, what they're suggesting is like somewhere right in like the 52-21 range. But I don't think that. I think of more like 52-14 or something like that, or 55-7. Something like that makes more sense to me in this game. Kent State's not going to get more than 2 touchdowns, that's for sure. And Oklahoma, they're probably good for 6 or 7 touchdowns, but if Kent State doesn't give it up on the back end, if Oklahoma doesn't give up something on the back end to Kent State, which even the third team guys are going to be in there playing well, I would think, against a team like Kent State. So Oklahoma in a blowout. Mindy's on Oklahoma. I'm on the under. Let's cash,
That's
baby.
right.
Let's cash. Ayana says it. Post your picks, post your comments, get on our show in the chat. Eastern Michigan at UL Lafayette. UL Lafayette, an 11.5 point favorite. That's down from an opener of 12.5. The total is down to 56. Not much movement there. It opened 56.5. Not a thrilling game, but what do you got? Anything on this?
Oh, the Raging Cajuns. Oh, yeah. Eastern Michigan. They've actually covered the spread in 4 of their last 5 games against the Sun Belt Conference. And Cajuns also lost a lot of talent in their defense from last year. I think, Eastern Michigan, they're going to keep this one close. I'm going to take Eastern Michigan plus 11.5 here in this one.
I think I like that pick. That's the way I was leaning as well. I'll go with the total in this one. I think it's going to go over 56. I think that Eastern Michigan will be able to keep up with UL Lafayette in this game. I think both teams can confidently reach, probably 4 touchdowns here. If Eastern Michigan does get beat and they don't cover, they can still get to the over, I think, here, because I think ULL, that if that's the case, they're going to get 5 or 6 touchdowns, which is going to be able to take this one over the 56, I would think, here. So Eastern Michigan for Mindy, over 56 for me, gives you 2 plays right here on Rapid Fire Picks. You just hope you have your rotation there, and you're sitting there with your sheet. You have all your marks on it. Just do like I do. I put a little M for Mindy, and I have my pick already there with my little mark as well. So that way, if I'm, like I said, Mindy, if I don't have a pick, I'm going with you. So I'll just blame you if I got any bad ones. But
I got big shoulders. You can blame me. That's okay. I'm all right with it.
Northern Illinois is going to take on Tulsa. Tulsa, a 6.5 point favorite. The total is all the way up to 63.5. Mindy, this one opened 56.5. Big movement on the over here.
Yeah, lots of movement. Tulsa's quarterback, Mr. Brin, threw for 460 yards and 3 touchdowns last week. And Northern Illinois allowed 441 yards of total offense against Eastern Illinois. I just think Tulsa here is just going to cover the spread in this one. I like the home favorites at -6.5.
Yeah, I think I like the value on the total under here. Look, I'm getting a whole touchdown of value finally in this one. That 56.5, it wasn't widely available, but that's definitely what the opener was at the start of the release there early on Sunday. So just been a big move that's continued to spiral out of control to the over, I think. And I don't think Northern Illinois can do enough here against them. I mean, I thought they struggled in that game last week offensively. I think Tulsa, you mentioned their big numbers. I don't know, Mindy, it was the game itself had like 900 yards of total offense. It was a crazy game, but there was also some goofy scores in the game. So I think they can be encouraged by that yardage count, and I think they will have a pretty nice day. Northern Illinois. I don't know. I like the under just based on the value. However, I think for me, because I had already thought that the total would be in the high 50s, and it came 56.5. When I saw that opener now at 63, that's good enough for me. I'll go under. So Tulsa for Mindy and under for me. Florida International is going to take on Texas State. Texas State is now a 13.5 point favorite. This one opened as low as 11. This one also is another runaway total, Mindy. Opened 55. Now we're up to 63. Bookmakers are expecting a lot of points in this one.
Yeah, so this is one with Florida International. I bet the team total over 3.5 this year. So I'm a real big Florida International fan versus Texas State in this one. Both of these teams they give up a lot of yards, and they both are pretty efficient scoring. So, I mean, for me, I'm just going to go ahead and take the over 63. That Texas State team, they got down, quite a bit versus SMU, but they just kept plugging away. Like, it's just a team that has like zero quit in them. I like the over 63 in this one.
Okay, fair enough. I liked it over as well, but I think I liked it over that earlier number. The 63 does scare me. I have a pretty strong rating on the over, but it really doesn't qualify for me right now at
Where is
63.
that?
I'm
Yeah.
afraid I just have to back off. So I'll listen to your advice and possibly still go over in that one. But for me, I'll go ahead and lay the 13 and a half with Texas State. I'm not getting much value there either. That's why it's a free play. When I could have laid maybe 11, 11 and a half, now I have to lay
Right.
13 and a half with Texas State. Look, Florida International did bother me a little bit in the game against Bryant, and Texas State did do a pretty good job last week, I thought, against Nevada. So they struggled with turnovers in that one. So I'll go ahead and lay 13 and a half. I don't want to lay any more. Careful, folks. Don't maybe not lay more than 2 touchdowns. But 14 and a half is probably a no go. Is what I'd recommend, and maybe you'd buy it down or something. But I'll go ahead and take Texas State minus 13 and a half, and Mindy goes over 63. All right. San Jose State is going to take on Auburn. Auburn is now up to a 24-point favorite. They opened 21 and a half. Money coming in on War Eagle. Total now 48. This one has dropped 4 points from 52. So, if anything, they're saying take Auburn, take the under, but you're not getting the best price. But that's the way the line's moving.
Well, I don't really have a whole lot of, data here to back anything up really with this, San Jose State team. We all know that, Auburn, they're pretty good. But, I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm kind of the opposite of, where that line movement is. I like the lean here to San Jose State at the plus 23.
Okay.
And I also like the over the 48 there in that one. I think San Jose State might be a little bit of a surprise. And sorry, I gave too many picks on this one. I just couldn't really decide.
No, I totally get it. But again, yeah, like you said, I mean, look, Mindy, you're getting the best of the number here. I mean, no doubt about it. At 24 and 48, um, I can't, fault you on anything like that. So I don't know. I kind of want to take a pass, kind of because you went with 2 plays,
Yeah.
and maybe
Sorry.
just maybe I have a premium in this
Oh, maybe just
game.
maybe.
So maybe we'll just go with what Mindy said here and take that point value. Take San Jose State plus 24. I haven't taken. I don't think I took a pass yet, so I think I'm excused here. But San Jose State, it always worries me. I mean, because San Jose State's walking out of the stadium with a bunch of money falling from their pockets, and what can they really do against Auburn? But again, you're getting the best of the value with 24 points, and the best of that total with 48. So let's listen to Mindy on that one. All right, Georgia Southern and Nebraska. Mindy, you're going to tell us about the Huskers this week. First of all, maybe you can tell us maybe why this point total is going up still. Nebraska opened as low as 20 and a half. Now they're 23 and a half. Widely reported steam coming in on Nebraska, and the total as well has gone up. Open 59, now at 63. So bookmakers just maybe going, getting with the public. Nebraska is expected to crush these guys right now, and the total keeps going up. So is that really going to happen?
Well, I mean, I think that it might just happen today. I think Nebraska hasn't really showed, a whole lot of improvement thus far from last year. They still look a little sloppy on offense and defense. Defense kept the Huskers a little bit more in games last year. Secondary looked not so good, plus had trouble tackling.
They didn't cover, and they're playing, North Dakota. So I mean, I think
Right.
I had North Dakota in that. I had North Dakota. So
Well, so far you're like, the 2-0 versus Nebraska, right? You had Northwestern the first go round too. So I don't blame you on that. But so I'm actually going to have a premium here on the side on this one. But Georgia Southern, they did throw for over 365 yards. And again, like I said, that Nebraska secondary just gives up a ton. Nebraska still, over the last couple of years, they're averaging offensively in the top, they're scoring about 30, 33 points a game. I think this game, it still favors the over here, the over 63 in this one.
yeah, Georgia Southern, they're a passing team now, Mindy. I mean, they're not the same Georgia Southern. So, look, Nebraska might have some issues. Maybe they can use their muscle to get this increased number. That's what the bookmakers are saying. They're worried about this money
And it's
coming in
raining
on.
here today. If that makes it any, decision in what you guys, think. Rain sometimes also helps the total go over. So just going to put that out there for you.
I mean, because you think, who's going to continue to bet on Nebraska the way things are going? But sure enough, here comes the money on Nebraska, up, like I said, up 3 points. So I get it, and how about if we agree? How about if we agree to agree so we can have our fourth play? We'll go
Just in
over.
case we're running out of time.
We'll go over together in this one. It worries me because it's up to 63. We're not getting the best of it. That's for sure. But I think I liked the over to begin with, and the fact that you do kind of, I don't know, that kind of solidifies it for me actually. So let's give it out at 63. We're not getting the best price, folks. If you want a free play, there it is. Georgia Southern Nebraska over. We're in agreement. All right, USC is going to take on Stanford. This might be a little bit of value here. USC was as high as 10 points. Now they're laying 8.5. The total is 66.5, up from an opener of 65, Mindy.
Yeah. So, I mean, had that as a big line movement of 60 to 66.
Okay.
But USC, scored 52 last week, 538 yards of total offense. Meanwhile, Stanford played Colgate. So you know what I mean? It's how can you really decide when you're playing a basketball team here in this one? I'm just going to go ahead there and I see my modeling has USC winning this one in a close one by like 4. I'm going to take Stanford here and the plus points at plus 8.5.
So, last week, kind of a bad beat, in that game. Stanford scored a touchdown and made it 41-10. Late in the game, the total was 51.5. Looked like that touchdown they missed the extra point. So that was one of the bad beats, I think, of the week that they showed on the
Oh man.
on the TV. But what you said? You said take the
I'm
point.
going to take the points with Stanford here. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. We'll see if USC is who they think they are.
It's all that they're cracked up to be, right? I mean, look,
Right.
it was pretty impressive last week. What we saw, I think, they kind of ran it up a little bit. Every time I looked up, another defensive guy was falling in the end zone with the ball in his hand. Another pick six. So USC was definitely turning it up a notch. I think for me, I think I like what you said about that opener of a 60, and now it's 66.5. Look, I don't think that USC is going to be able to necessarily run up a big score. Look, it's not the same Stanford. They're not the same type of team in the trenches that they've been in the past. And I think USC. I think a lot of people are going to. I say a lot of people might be on USC, but it looks like the money's coming in on Stanford, right? I mean, so how about under for me, 66.5? I'm getting a whole touchdown off that 60 number that you mentioned.
Yeah.
So I will USC for Mindy and under. I mean, no, I'm sorry, Stanford for Mindy and under for me, under 66.5. Okay, we're almost home. We're almost on the home stretch for football. Arizona State and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is now up to an 11.5 point favorite. I'm showing an opener of 10. So movement on the Cowboys. Total up to 58.5 off an opener of 54.5. Pretty significant move there.
Yeah, and again, this one's going to be the aerial assault. I mean, I don't think you're going to see the ball on the ground much here at all in this game. Arizona State, I think they put up 40. Oklahoma State put up 58. I don't really see any decrease in any of these offenses, especially that Oklahoma State team. I know that line where we lost, 4 points of value there. I'm still going to take the over in this one.
Okay, fair enough. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. I also do like the over, but I'm not going to give it out because of that line move. I've got I'm with you on it. I will put a little something on it just because I want to have. I like to bet every side in total too. This isn't just. I'm not throwing darts out here. I
Right.
mean, I'm
We
looking at
actually
every game. Look,
Right.
if I'm going to spend 5 minutes handicapping a football game, I'm going to at least put a few dollars on it. A lot of times, sometimes I just put small bets so that I actually go back and I see,
How
I
you did.
look in detail of the result, right? I mean, if I don't have something, I'm likely to just brush it aside. And I'm an action player. I love having action on every game if I can. And again, I will pass on, probably 5 to 10% of games just because my number, like you, it will land right about where I think it does. So anyways, Mindy, I'll go ahead and lay the points here with Oklahoma State. I think they can have a pretty big day. I think last week they were blowing out Central Michigan, right? And I think ASU. This is going to be kind of a tough ask. I think in this one. So I think it'll be Oklahoma State doing a majority of that scoring. Mindy, I think they can get this increased number at 11.5, and I will take the Cowboys to blow out the Sun Devils by about 2 touchdowns. Well, speaking of blowouts, Mindy, this does not look like a good situation at all for poor Hawaii, as they are a 52-point underdog, and the total is 66.5. I can't even do the math on that, but it does sound like a blowout to me. It sounds like that Hawaii is probably going to get about 7 points. I can figure that out.
So
59,
7 plus
59 to 7 is what that is
52,
right there.
right?
59
Hawaii.
to 7. Is that what's going to happen here?
Oh, I
Or
don't
is it going to be
know.
worse?
I think it's going to be worse. Hawaii's given up 112 points in 2 games. Take the over in this one. Smash the over.
Is
I don't
Hawaii
know
is
if
it going to be all
Hawaii
Michigan?
might be able to score a couple times. I don't
Okay,
know.
I don't know. I thought you were going to tell me there's going to be 70 to nothing or something.
It might
Remember what I
be.
said
I
about
don't know.
Michigan? Remember what I said about Michigan last week, and that
They
seems to
don't
be
quit.
and that was indeed the case. And Harbaugh, when he smells blood, you kind of think of Harbaugh as, yeah, he's a goofball out there sometimes, but he can be a gentleman. No, he's not. He
No,
blows these teams
he's
out.
not gonna.
And now he's got the worst team in the country. I mean, this team's worse than those sorry teams. I think Hawaii's in a lot of people's rankings right now. Hawaii's at the bottom, and now you're going to go into the big house and be the sucker.
Yeah.
Okay. Mindy's gonna give out the over. Look, it opened 46 at the low. The general opener was 49.5. Now it's up to 52, and it's up to 52 like in the last 24 hours. It was like 49.5. I thought just yesterday, or maybe that was the days are running together.
I know last night it was at 51, so it's already gone up
Thursday night, but whatever the case may be. So,
yeah.
pardon me. So, Mindy, go ahead and go over 66, and I'll lay 52 points because why not? I mean,
Well, I think there's some folks that get mad about running up the score, right? I mean, I've seen a lot of people that kind of yell at that sometimes, and I think some of those folks maybe I don't know haven't played sports. I want to say sometimes that don't really understand that these guys that are Michigan's second and third stringers, this might be the only game that they get in all year. and these guys are going to want to score. So again, and they have that good second and third tier talent. So, I mean, again, they're not going to like pump the brakes on this game if they're up, 66-0. I think they're just going to continue because these kids want to play hard, and they have a coach that will allow it. So, I mean, I just think, I mean, I don't get upset when they run up a score 70 to 80 points because, again, these are times that these kids might be the only chance they get in all season.
Yeah, and I don't want to make light of it. I don't know how much Hawaii's walking away with here. If it's 800,000, if it's 1.2 million, I don't know. But I've got 100,000 people in the stands, and they're walking away with some of our money. We paid them to come here, right? I mean, what do I care? Nobody's going to be getting mad if you're Hawaii. You know what you're getting into, right? It's not like a disrespectful game like two good teams going at it, and then you're stomping on them in the end zone by not taking a knee, with a 4 touchdown lead with a minute to go at the 1 yard line. So again, I agree with you totally. This might be like the spectacle of the day.
Right.
We can make bold predictions, and I don't know if anybody crazy out there, but I mean, I don't know, Mindy. Let's go. Let's say it. Let's just say for what it is. I mean, the way you and I see this game, it wouldn't be out of the question if it was 70-7 in this one. I would think. I quite honestly. I mean, I know most of the power ratings, they all have it exactly what because like we said, if you go with the spread, that makes sense. 59-7. That's a reasonable score, but if you're Michigan, 70 looks pretty cool. So, all right. Boston College and Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is down to a 3-point favorite. This one opened as high as 5, and the total 46. Typical is, boy, is Beamer ball back? What's going on? We got another. We're in the mid 40s here with one of these games, BC and Virginia Tech. That one opened 45, now up to 46.
Yeah, so Boston College lost to Rutgers. That was in an under game. Virginia Tech, they won last time versus Boston College 40-14. As you know, they were the ones that lost to Old Dominion 20-17. That was also an underplay. Both of these teams, were kind of sloppy. I think, each of these teams are going to look to that defense. I like the under here, even though it's a low total at the 46. I'll take it.
Okay. Fair enough. Then you'll be on the under in this one. I think for me, I'm gonna have to take a pass. I'm gonna have to take one of my passes here on this one because I just might have a selection on this one tonight.
I might actually have a selection on this game as well.
Oh,
interesting.
I'll just have to check the results. I'll have to go to Mindy's results page over at TonySpicks.com. Click on the All Cappers tab. Click on Mindy's profile.
Too bad we're gonna have to wait all day for this, though, right? Because it kicks off at 7 my time.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't look at our late results this week. But if you do, all of our picks are documented. So even if we're having a rough week, they're all there, and we own it. We own up to it. You can go back and find plenty of great streaks too,
Right.
No doubt about it. So, but again, that's what happens here at Tony's Picks. So just to explain to you, visit our website, Tony'sPicks.com. There you'll find our premium picks each and every day over there at Tony's Picks. Click on the All Cappers tab, and there you'll find all 12 of our handicappers. We all have packages today. Look, we're giving you all these free picks because we look at every game because we want to uncover our best picks, and we sell our best picks. That's what we're here doing, folks. We're touts. So we sell the picks that we feel the strongest about. You can see all of our handicappers here on the Cappers page. You click on their page, and inside there, you scroll to the bottom, and all of their results are there.
Click on it.
Huh?
Click on it. Click on it.
Well, let's pick Tony because he's been so hot.
Oh, you're not going to pick on my page? Oh, okay.
Oh, no, I will, absolutely. You want to, because your package, well, no, I will, because I want to show your packages today as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, And so what you do is you click on the All Cappers tab, and then you can go through. Mindy's got late night college football. Do you want to talk about your plays, Mindy?
Well, yeah. So again, I went ahead and I put these in time order. I got quite a few plays throughout the day. Like Ramon says, both of us are pretty high volume bettors. So yeah, you can take a look and see anything that you want. So if you have your your early games, you're like, I already know what I played. I already have those in. But then you get to, 4 or 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. You're like, well, I just want to see what Mindy has available. Then I'm going to go check out her page. Excuse me. So you can go ahead and check out another package that I may have too, because it's all kind of in time order. And then also on our pick ticker, you can go through and check out all of the games by all of the cappers. So you can always find something that you like.
Well, check out Mindy's best bet right there today. And also, this one is the most interest to me, the one here on the right, the early slate of college football, 7 games from Mindy for $35 and the guaranteed price of $55. Now, what does that mean? Mindy, if you have the guaranteed price of $55 for those 7 plays, if Mindy does not show a profit, and easy for me to figure this one out because she's got 7 plays. These are all college football. So Mindy's going to have to go 4-3 or better. She's going to want to go 5-2 for you. She's want to go 6-1 for you. She's want to go 7-0 for you. But if she does just show a profit, you paid for the plays. You're going to get a little bit, cash a little bit of money on that if you're playing, pretty strong, at least a couple of dollars per game. On those games, but look, if she goes 5-2, you're going to see a nice profit. If she goes 6-1, you're going to see a real nice profit. If by chance it does not go at least 4-3, you're going to get that $55 back to use on more Mindy plays, or you can use get some other handicappers as well, any of the cappers. So when you see these guaranteed prices now over at Tony's Picks on these one-day individual packages, not our long term, because you're already getting great savings on those. But if you get these plays, they are guaranteed to produce a profit, or you're going to get credits back to your Tony's account to get more plays, basically. So we want you to at least experience a winning day with our cappers. Usually it's going to be that first purchase, but again, if for some reason it's not, want you right back.
Ramon, I don't know if you noticed, but I did put in the corn emoji in there for you today. I was like, I'm getting the corn huskers in there.
Well, Mindy is the Midwest's premier sports handicapper. So, all right, that was a good segue. But we do have a few more college football games to check on here. And
about 4
appreciate all of you.
or so?
Appreciate all of you. And how about Scratch Ace? He's new with us in the chat, so we appreciate him bringing his plays with us so he can show everyone. Likes Air Force today over my guy Carl Durrell. Pretty popular play, Scratch, but can't necessarily fault you for that. I think it's a pretty public play. And again, I guess I'm just a little bit of a contrarian there, just because that spread has gone up so much, having to lay extra points with Air Force. That's what worries me a little bit, but I think we all expect Air Force to win it by at least double digits. All right, let me see where we left off. I think we had Baylor and BYU. Kind of an interesting situation with these teams. BYU opened a much bigger favorite than this, Mindy, as high as 8 on the games of the year summer look ahead, but mostly an opener of around 4, but now we're down to 2.5. So money coming in on Baylor here. Not much action on the total. Open 53, now 54.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I could pick a side in this one. I just think this is probably one of the hardest ones for me to handicap today here on a side. Just been struggling here really with this one. Baylor, they played Albany, won big, 69-10, 513 total yards. 259 of those were on the ground. Baylor won last time, 38-24. BYU beat South Florida 50-21, 573 yards of offense. 312 of those were rushing. But Baylor, they also lost a lot of defensive players this season. So for me, even though I'm having trouble with that side, I'm going to take the over 54 in this one.
All right, so Mindy's on the over in the BYU and Baylor, and I'll come in on Baylor. I think they can win this game. BYU definitely has some injuries coming into this game in their receiver core, and BYU really owned this matchup in the trenches. Or I'm sorry, Baylor really owned the uh, battle in the trenches. I'm coming in on Baylor. Did I say that correctly in the beginning? I want
Yes,
Baylor
you
in
did.
this one, plus the points. I could have got better points, but I think because I said they'll win this one outright.
Yeah.
Last year, they gained BYU on the ground 300 to 67. So I think with the injuries to the BYU receiving core and Baylor just bigger and stronger, I think, in the trenches for me, that'll be the play. So I'll go Baylor. Mindy goes over. You got a double play there. All right, we just got a couple more, but Scratch got another play with him. So appreciate that, Scratch. He says Pitt and maybe sprinkle that money line. So appreciate that, brother. All right, couple more games, Mindy, and we're going to be done with the big football card. You've done a great job. Appreciate you so much. And I just want to keep putting our comments, even if it's Scratch just coming in, because we want people to interact with us in the chat during the show. We want to see your picks as well, fully interactive. That's what we want. Okay, Mindy, yeah, we're getting down to the last part of the card. I got a premium here in this one between Oregon State and Fresno, so I won't go necessarily too much into it, but I will tell you that this game is now a pick-em. It's been pretty closely rated, I think, all week. Maybe Fresno opened a slight favorite, so maybe the move is on Oregon State. And same thing for the total. Open 60 and a half, now down to 59 and a half. So this game really hasn't seen a lot of movement in the numbers.
Yeah, it should be a fun late game though. I like it. It's one I'm interested in. I'll enjoy the watch on this one. Boise State. They won 34-17 last time out. They lost 34-17 last time out and just won last night 31-10. But they were held to 311 yards of offense. Fresno State, they beat Cal Poly 35-7. They failed to cover their 42-point spread there in that one. The Bulldogs here kind of own the series on this one. Each team, I think, excelled on defense rather than offense on this one. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and take the under 59.5 in this one.
All righty. And we'll just leave it at that since I got the premium and I want to tip my hand. Maybe if I were to maybe agree with you on the total, or maybe if I were to disagree with you. I don't know. I don't know. It's funny because I was as you were talking about it, I'm like, well, I have it marked down here because I want to see what Mindy does. If she comes in on the side, I'll give out my opinion on the total. But I was like, but it's different, isn't it? When we look at, because I'm sure you'd have to kind of do the same way because we want to share multiple picks if we can. But it's almost easier for me, like if it was like more either line movement or if one team was more of a favorite than another with a close game. I think it might reveal too much in a way if I were to give out the total. I don't know if that makes any sense to you or to the viewers out there. But and again, it's not like these two teams have a tremendously bizarre contrast of styles necessarily. But again, so we'll just leave it at that. We'll take Mindy's over and roll with that one. And then finally, the late game out west with Mississippi State, 11-point favorite. The SEC coming in to take on Arizona. Of course, Mindy, I watched Arizona pretty closely last week playing my San Diego State team, and they did a number on them. Maybe it was that heat. Maybe it was the heat out here in that game, and Arizona maybe felt more comfortable. I mentioned on the show this week, everybody, there was a kind of big controversy out here because the stadium was almost empty. It was a brand new stadium that we have, and people weren't sitting in the seats. It looked like there were about 5,000 people, but everybody was like
they were there in the concourse.
They were underneath the concourse watching the game on the TVs and in the shade because it was. And then so there were people there was one guy in particular who made a viral video of people sitting all over the place, like it was a really terrible situation, and this is the worst stadium, and it was the hottest football game ever played in the history of the city.
Oh my goodness.
So, the temperature of games this time of year is about 78 degrees for a day game. Most of San Diego State's games are at night, just because the way their television contract, they don't get the best time slots because of where they play. So, but Arizona, they adapted to it quite nicely, and I kind of wonder if that was indeed the case last week. They felt more comfortable, but here they're hosting an SEC team, and I don't know what the weather's going to be like in Arizona, but it's probably a little, it's pretty warm in Mississippi, but we'll see. 11-point favorite, SEC coming in to take on Pac-12.
Yeah, so I don't know if you saw the line movement in this one, but it started at Mississippi State minus 14 and has moved to, I think, as low as 10.5. So Ramon talked a little bit about the Arizona, San Diego State. I still think Arizona has a lot to prove. I was all over San Diego State in that one. And so again, what was it? Was it the heat? Was it the time of day that they played? Was it the national, that it was nationally televised? Like, what exactly was it? To me, Arizona still has a lot to prove. This is also a first-time meeting between these two teams. Arizona also has to contain Rodgers, which will be, I think, a huge challenge for them. So I'm going to go ahead and take Mississippi State here, minus 11 versus Arizona.
Okay. That to me, I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of national handicappers on Mississippi State in this one. I definitely, I don't necessarily mind the play in this one. I think, man, I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass. I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to get done with our list here. We'll go with Mindy's play in that one. No, it's just a real popular play. I agree with you. I mean, look at that value there. We got a number as high as 14. You said,
yeah.
So I don't know. I have a play. I played the under. How's that? I played the under as a private play. So maybe I'll go. Can I do that? Can I?
Of course you can.
Give out the under. It's not a back end premium play or anything. It's just something that I played a ticket on the under, and I got it at 60.5. That's where I don't like to be one of those guys that says, look at my number. So, okay, I think that's fair. Free play on the under with that one at 57.5. So,
well, and again, that's why that is the name of our show, The Morning Steam. Ramon, he really takes a look at all of these opening lines, really does the hard work on these. And so, yeah, I mean, as handicappers, a lot of times you have to find your best number. And when that happens, you make those plays. So it's nice to have a book out there that you can look at where you can take a look at the lines to get your best bet in.
Okay, we'll just touch on these other sports, Mindy. I saw you gave out a baseball play in there. Right now, and when we got on the air, I was going through my FCS card, so I'm going to spend probably the next 90 minutes because I've solidified, I think, my college card pretty much for the day. Although I'm looking at a couple of premiums possibly to add for the night card. But again, head on over to our website, Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off all premium pick packages. Short term, long term, it doesn't matter. Use that promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 20%. How about matching me and Mindy up for a 3-day pass? Get today's action, get Sunday's action, and Monday Night Football this week. If you get that 3-day package with us on the 2-for-1 capper promotion, buy one of us at a full price. That doesn't sound right. Buy one of us, buy our 3-day package at full price to get half price off the second. So I got just 2 plays, Mindy, right now. 3 plays for you because this is about as far as I've gotten on the card. I went through about 18 or so games so far of the added board, the extra board. I want to lay Cincinnati minus 29 points at home against Kennesaw State. The total there is down to 49. from an opener of 52. I've got Cincinnati winning this one by about 5 touchdowns. Also, Indiana State getting 35 points from Purdue. The total is 51, so you can see what type of game we're dealing with here. Indiana State is my free play.
Not a whole lot of room with that spread, yeah.
Also on the FCS board. And finally, my third play, this will be a 3-pack for you of free plays on the FCS board. I know I'll have a ton more. And yes, I mean, here's the thing about the premium packages and the lines coming out. I mean, look, the GM gives us a lot of pressure. Get these plays up early. You know, we got to sell. But FCS lines, a lot of these lines just coming out, late last night. Some of them not even until this morning. And I've got I want to look at least at about 25 more games in the next 60 minutes. And I'm giving you these early games free. And if you want to get an FCS package, I'll probably have one for the games that are going to start a little bit later in the day. I'm hoping to get one together. Don't want to leave it up there. I would do a lot of work and leave it up there for just a short time. And feels like you did a lot of work for nothing if you only get a couple of sales. But again, if we can win, that's fine. Also, here's my third play. It's Eastern Kentucky plus 9 points at Bowling Green. A little bit of a interesting matchup, certainly, with these two programs. That total has moved from 53.5 to 57.5. So I think I'm expecting Eastern Kentucky to be able to do it offensively and be able to get within that number. The moves actually come in on Bowling Green, and that's what got me on Eastern Kentucky. Bowling Green opened 6. It's down 9, and my number was closer to that 6. So Eastern Kentucky, that's my 3 plays right there. Mindy, I saw you give out a play to someone in the chat. They asked about a game, and you had your numbers there. I don't know if I can go back and
find so they asked about the Rangers versus the Blue Jays. And I said the Blue Jays, if they were just asking about that. But the Blue Jays are minus 200 in this one. So I don't know if you follow us or not. But, I have pretty strict rules or guidelines that I play by. And I try to give my information out to you guys, the public. So again, that's not one that I would play at the minus 200. My play, I would look to either the run line at the minus 1.5, or I would look to the first 5 and just play that pitching matchup if I could get those to fit in the minus 150 odds range, something there. I haven't looked at those first 5s because on our site they come out really late. So those are ones I usually can't give overnight, but that's where I would look. Also kind of like the Giants today, the Diamondbacks today. So you can take a look at those there on the money line. And there's maybe a free 3-pack for you. Go ahead and look at Blue Jays first 5, Giants, Diamondbacks.
Appreciate that, Mindy. So I took care of the FCS. You took care of the Major League Baseball. You see our promo there at the bottom. Now I'm going to come at you with one more, and this is going to be in the CFL. I was real busy today with this giant card, and I don't have any CFL videos for you, and I only have one play as of right now in the CFL, and it's going to be maybe a bit of a surprise for you. So if you want to dig into this dog, feel free, but it's going to be a tough one to swallow if you've been following the CFL this year. I've like Saskatchewan getting 7 points from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Yes, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, the team that's crushing the league this year, but I like Saskatchewan in this one. Take them plus 7. The other games today, if you're interested, Toronto is a 1.5-point favorite at Ottawa, the total 48. Calgary, a 9.5-point favorite, total 49.5 at Edmonton. They're going to play those games in successive order, straight through, just one game after another today. So an interesting card coming out of the CFL. No Sunday game this week, Mindy. Also, let's move on and take a look. I want to mention this, Mindy. Big news came out last night at UFC 279. So I've already put a premium in. I do like this card a lot now. I like it a lot better. Some will say that maybe this was planned. When a guy walks up there and is 7 pounds overweight, because that's really unheard of. A guy can be a couple of pounds overweight. So it almost sounds like, because
that's like my diet.
Well, yeah, right. Because what happened was you had in the main event, you had basically a fighter that was going to be about a minus 1,000 favorite. Now, there's nothing you could do about the odds, but as a matchmaker, and sure, I mean, I think the MMA, the UFC, they take pride in their matchmaking. I think Dana White takes pride in his matchmaking. I think he knew he had a one-sided fight on his hands, and he still does with Chimaev. Now is going up against Holland. So that's your mismatch fight at Chimaev minus 600. But now you have another co-main event, another 5-rounder that is relatively close in Nate Diaz and Tony Ferguson, two guys who don't like each other. There was a big scrum. Chimaev was in it too in the back. And so there was just a bunch of chaos. And now we've come out with 3 different fights, and 2 of them are relatively closely rated. So I'm not saying the fix was in, but
the fix might have been in.
The card is just a lot more interesting now, and maybe there's some betting opportunities that have come about. I have one play loaded right now for my long-term subscribers, and I want to add a couple more before that card starts. But because of the confusion, I was out in the rain last night at a high school game. I'm probably getting sick right now because and I'm going to go out there again to another game. It's raining here in Southern California. Tony always makes fun.
Does it rain one day a year out there?
The weather's so great out here, and it is. Don't get me wrong. Tony's just, I'm teasing him, but yeah, it's been raining. I was out there, and then I knew the UFC card had a bunch of commotion. As soon as the new lines came out, I immediately put the first play in. It is in the main event between Ferguson and Diaz. So if you want my, you'd have to get on one of my long-term packages, but I will have a short-term package that has probably the guarantee on it right there. Hey, we got Mindy, a newbie here. With all due respect, Zoomadon, thank you for joining us. You're not a newbie, I'm sure, because that's your dog of the day. You're an experienced bettor calling something like that your dog of the day. So thank you for joining us. Please bring your picks every day when you join us Saturday through Thursday. And
because we're all in here, trying to get to, consensus. And we, give our expertise, and you guys do your homework. And when we can find those plays, we want to take advantage, and we want to, beat Vegas every day if we can, right? So also, Ramon, we had our recap of what me and you consensus wise, what we had. And that was Wisconsin over.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
So we had Wisconsin over. What's that?
I'm glad you're keeping track of those, right? I would
California have to look over, Kentucky +6, and then Nebraska over. So Wisconsin
and
over,
also UNLV,
Nebraska over, Kentucky +6. What?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. I didn't hear you say UNLV and Cal over. Yeah. Yep. So it was Washington State, Wisconsin over, UNLV and Cal over.
Kentucky
UK, UK +6, and what was the other one?
It was this crazy Nebraska game, yeah.
Okay, got it. 4-team round robin, right?
Yeah, we did good the other day, so we had to get this one here in too.
Huh?
I said we did well the other day on our round robin, so I said we got to get this one in.
Did we go 3-1, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. See, we're getting the hang of this.
It's
like our first time betting.
Let me just bring a little bit more news today. One more piece of news, because we have the big tennis match on the ladies' side. Maybe not necessarily a surprise, with Iga Swiatek coming in as a pretty big favorite today against the Turkish sensation Ons Jabeur, and Iga's a -175 favorite. And I think that's good to go. I mean, Jabeur's been great as well to get to this point. I don't know if 175 has a tremendous value on it, but Iga is in form. Even though maybe, hard court is not her preferred or best surface. I mean, she's always going to be able to dominate, but I've got her at -200. So at 175, I've got to consider a play here. And again, I think it's a little different when you're dealing with one-on-one sports and when you're laying $2 rather than a $2 favorite in a baseball game or something like that. And in soccer news, I think we know that all the EPL games were canceled today. love the Queen. Mindy, one thing that's I've been doing, has been handicapping all week, and but I've been watching the coverage of the Queen's death, the wreck from England, the coverage from England. I've really been moved by it. I just think that well, what a life and legacy! One of the most incredible people ever in the history of our generations here. I mean, consider when she was.
It's been during our whole lifetime that she's, reigned. I mean, so it's pretty incredible to think about it and all the great things.
And just through the whole society of, with all due respect, when a male-dominated society, and here is this woman that she has not only been a world leader, that many leaders of all, even some that are, who've been out there a little bit. They've all confided in her a little bit, and then as the times have changed, she adapted while still managing her goofy family that kind of get all quirky here at the end. Certainly put a lot of stress on Her Majesty towards her later years. But hey, we're probably going to get kicked off the air for talking about that. But just want to mention all the EPL games were canceled. But yeah, I've been watching handicapping. I've had that coverage on. I thought it's just again, everybody was real sad, but you see how joyful people are because of the impact she had on people's lives and the respect that she gave to everyone and things like that. So, okay, Mindy, great job, great show. I hope we didn't leave anything, we're probably leaving some money on the table, but there's just so much action to cover today on the morning's team. So join us again. We're coming back tomorrow with NFL football.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Don't worry. We're going to have NFL picks every game except Monday night game.
Just picks.
Yep, every game. The 1 p.m. Eastern, the 10 a.m. Pacific, all the way through the afternoon games and the night game, which that was cool with Michael Jordan doing that promo.
I didn't even last. What did he say? I didn't even last, or I lasted 2 years. He didn't even last 2 days.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
All right. Great job. Thank you so much. Thank you for the plays as well. Be sure to make sure I get on those as well. So, all right. For Mindy Hahn, I'm Ramon Scott. Thank you for joining us.
Take care.